So the third bone structure along the vertebral column is what you call the lumbar vertebrae. This is the lateral view of the lumbar vertebrae. Now, this lumbar vertebrae is a bone that is found at the lumbar region. Lumbar region is simply what you call the abdominal region. Now, when you take the lateral view of the lumbar vertebrae, you can be able to see the neural spine. This is what you call the neural spine. Then it has what we call the processes, and there is an additional number of processes on the lumbar vertebrae, because along the abdomen we find that there are very strong muscles which are going to be assisting in the process of digestion and in the process of peristalsis, whereby this is the movement of food along the alimentary canal. So we have the first process that we call the post-zygapophysis. This is the post-zygapophysis that is just found next to the neural spine. Then we have, of course, what we call the centrum. This is the centrum, which is the head. Then we have an additional process, what we call anapophysis. So this is the anapophysis that is found next to the centrum. Then just beneath or towards the front of the centrum is another process that we call hypophysis. This is what we call the hypophysis. Hypophysis. Another example of a process that is just going to provide additional surface area for attachment of the abdominal muscle. Then towards the front there is what we call the transverse process, which are long and broad. The transverse processes. Then towards here we have what we call pre-zygapophysis. You can be able to see what we call the pre-zygapophysis. This is what we call the post-zygapophysis. Then an additional process along the neural spine is what we call the metapophysis. This is what we call the metapophysis. So that is the lateral view of the lumbar vertebrae. Now, let me mention something about the anterior view of the lumbar vertebrae. When you take this lumbar vertebrae and you view it anteriorly, you can be able to see the centrum. This is the centrum that I was mentioning. There are these wing-like structures of the transverse process. Then you can be able to see towards the front what we were calling pre-zygapophysis that articulates with the post-zygapophysis of another lumbar vertebrae. Then there is the neural spine over here. Okay, yes. So this is the anterior view of the lumbar vertebrae. So this is one of the lumbar vertebrae. This is the other lumbar vertebrae. Now, how do they get articulating onto each other? This one will come and get fixed onto that one. So you can be able to see this is the neural spine. Then these are what we call post-zygapophysis. Post-zygapophysis. Then this is the pre-zygapophysis. So this pre-zygapophysis is being fixed onto, it is articulating onto the post-zygapophysis. Then they form a column like that. Then you can be able to see the long transverse processes going like that. So the other lumbar vertebrae is going to articulate on top of these other bones. So as you can be able to see, these other lumbar vertebrae can actually articulate onto this one. Like that. So you see, I've articulated 3 lumbar vertebrae whereby there is a lumbar vertebrae with a post-zygapophysis, this one, articulating onto the pre-zygapophysis. So that is the manner in which they're going to be articulating. Then when you have a look at in between here, you can see the neural canal whereby the spinal cord is going to be passing all the way from the skull, where we have the cervical vertebrae, until we reach the sacral vertebrae. Then this is the centrum. Let me just turn it. This is the centrum that is going to assist in supporting the body weight. So these are just 3 examples of the lumbar vertebrae. Then the strong abdominal muscles are going to be attached onto these transverse processes together with the additional processes, the 3 additional processes, what we call the hypophysis, anapophysis, and metapophysis. They just provide additional surface areas for attachment of the strong abdominal muscles.